people are representing the company. It's not about the company. You have to put people first. And good driving instructors are very passionate about driving. We're going to get into what do you look for, how do you identify a company, an average company, a poor company. First, there is a shortage of driving instructors. So I need all of you to know this. Due to post COVID, due to 25 to 30, 45 years of the older instructors retiring, there's still some older instructors who are doing it 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, bless their heart. They're still out there. If I was looking for a driving school today for my son or daughter, I would visit the school. I would talk to the owner, I would talk to the secretary, I would look around outside. Are the grounds where the car is clean? Is the fleet of cars, are they new or are they old? Remember, these are driver's ed cars. They are run 10 to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have a very hard and challenging life. Let's just say that. Cars are very expensive for a driver's ed school. It's one of the biggest investments, and those cars have to be insured. So when you're looking at cars, are the cars 5 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old, etc.? Are the cars a 2021, a 2022, a 2023? I've been with different companies who have older cars and newer cars. It really comes down to fuel economy, affordability, and overall safety, and also image. A lot of people do judge a company, unfortunately, by the type of equipment that they have for high quality cars. Also, take a moment to look at their curriculum. The curriculum is very important. Are they updating their curriculum frequently? Is their curriculum 3 to 5 years old? Do they have notebooks to pass out to students? Do they have PDF files to give out to students once they sign up for the class and download? Is it in a physical building? As of recently, because of COVID, a lot of driving schools and educational facilities have to go remote. And that's an opportunity for people who have 5, 10, 15 years, such as in my age group, teaching driver's ed. You can do it remotely, so you don't have to have that capital investment. That is the new trend because it's about customer service. Prior to COVID, you could just simply get 36 kids into a building, run adult classes, teen classes, driver improvement classes. Now, customers can pick, right? And I like that because if you're a good driving company and you have good resources, you're going to really be able to get the cream of the crop. You can really sell your product, okay? Are your schools up to date on different driving techniques? Do they have relevant information? Do you have handouts? Can you keep this information? Or at the end of the class, does this information have to be turned back in? Do the instructors, typically what you have is 5 to 7 instructors. We're driving anywhere from 10 to 15 kids in a 6-week cycle. This allows instructors to kind of hand make their schedule. There's driving availability in the mornings. This is in the summer. Driving availability in the afternoons because of sports, jobs, drive availability in the evening, and also drive availability on Saturday or Sunday, where typically I'm driving 8 to 10 or 12 hours. And the summer is the peak time. So you as a consumer, you want to look at your schedule. Can you match the schedule to the driver's ed schedule? The driver's ed schedule goes year round. I'm letting all of you know this. So you have instructors from 0 to about 5 years with experience. They're young, they're high energy, they're fun. They may not have the experience to manage a class pretty good. They may be decent in the car. But I say from 7 to 12 years experience, you know how to manage your class. I prefer to educate my students. I teach in class and behind the wheel, BTW, because I want to educate my students. I want to give them the tools and resources they need. If we're talking about general driving habits, I want to be able to help them understand how you're supposed to brake, when you're supposed to brake. I want to talk about making complete stops. I want to use tools and resources such as Kahoot, Quizlet. There are other resources out there. Is the driving school like a classroom? Driving schools can have their driving classes set up at churches, community centers, in schools. Ideally, schools are the best way because right after school, you go straight to driver's ed. But because of COVID and schools closing, driver's education facilities have had to have a plan B and C. So it's about the customer. So that's where it's all about choice. Hey, how you doing? It is about choice. Thank you. And choice is important, right? If this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. When you have choice, you can customize driving, and I do the online portion, and that is a 6:30 to 8:30. In the summer, it will be during the early afternoon because people have sports, people have family responsibilities. A lot of young people are getting jobs. So, because of COVID and because of things outside of the driver's education industry, you have to cater to what the people need. Now, there's still traditional classes where they go in, there are 36 kids in a group. Some people still concerned about COVID. Some people still concerned about large crowds, and I understand that because from over 20 years, I was doing it in person, 36 in a class, 26 in a class, scheduling kids, driving kids, and it's really fun. But when COVID happened, a lot of schools stopped driver's ed, and there was a huge backlog. Now you have to get all these kids done. Then you have a group of people who are 18, 19, 20, 21. That's that Gen Z group who aren't motivated to drive. And their parents are like, you need to do driver's ed. So you have a choice. Do you go to the DMV and get a TIP, temporary instruction permit, or do you sign up for private lessons at a driver's education school? I've done many of those. And then I get a chance to talk to you, and that's my next point. Your instructor who has 7 to 12 years experience, it's about building a relationship. And those of you know me, I try to build a relationship. I'm a school teacher. And you might want to ask, well, tell me about your employees. Are they fresh out of college with driver's ed certifications? Typically, they're teachers, policemen, school bus drivers. I feel, I'm biased, I'm a teacher, I feel teachers make the best type of instructors because they love people, they love education, and there's that natural trend of understanding behaviors of people. You can't just have a new instructor who doesn't really care about people, who's not sensitive to the idiosyncrasies that we all have. Anxiety, stress, driver's ed, nervousness. You see this. When I first teach class the first couple of days, you can see the fear in their eyes. You can see the blood in the water. So I had to put my kid gloves on. I learned that a long time ago. And you build those relationships with the kids. So I prefer to teach class and then drive students. And you really want to look at these instructors. Are they dressed nicely? Do they have a button-down shirt on? Do they have shorts? Do they have casual dress? You want to look around in the building, right? Does it look modern? Or is it from the 80s or 90s or 2000s, right? That's important. Have your friends do some research. Research your recon. Go in, talk to the owner if available, talk to the manager if available. Most driving schools have a website now. They're online. You can do everything online. Back in the day, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, you would have to bring everything in. That depends on the school. But more schools are digital today, so you can be at home on your own comfort area. You can upload these documents, the birth certificate, all the paperwork, and send that in. So on the first day, your son or daughter, they're not nervous, they're not overwhelmed. That first day, you have 25 teens. They're nervous, they're excited, they're scared. So what your instructor says it does those first couple of days will remember, they will remember those things for their lifetime. So it's really important that those instructors do that. So you might want to ask, are you the instructor who's going to be driving me? Some driving schools just have classroom instructors. I just want to do classroom. I don't want to deal with scheduling drives. I don't want to be in the car with those beginning drivers. I don't want to handle any of that. Some instructors don't want to do that. I learned early on, after I had graduated from college, trying out for the NFL, that I wanted to do driver's ed. So I took my classes. And then I was teaching class, being a school teacher, and teaching class, and driving the students. It's a lot to juggle, but I have those special memories that have made me a better instructor. Okay, is your instructor willing to work with your schedule? Oh no, you have to be at the school at 3 o'clock. I cannot come and pick you up from your job. Oh no, you have to be at the school. I can't come pick you up from practice. Well, if you want to keep and grow your business, you have to pick up students where they are. You might have to pick them up at home. You might have to pick them up at school. You might have to pick them up from a job. It's all about customer service. And those of students that have driven, they will tell you, he came to pick me up. He dropped me off at practice. And that means something because it's about a relationship. Okay. So your instructors who are from 12 years to 17 years in terms of experience, they're chilled, they're laid back. I've been the main instructor and had a backup driver. Maybe you have a student driving instructor conflict. I've had parents talk to me. I don't want my daughter driving with the other instructor. Can you please take over? No matter how much time you have in the day, you always have to squeeze 3 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours of kids in. Emergencies happen. You might get a call from the, hey, can you go over to this address? It's 10 miles away. We had an instructor get sick or there's a problem, and can you take over? You have to say yes because you want to bring value to your people. You want to bring value to your customers. And people can tell if you're fake. People can tell if you're real. When you're real with your student drivers, you're real with the parents, you build that positive relationship, right? And if you're a good instructor, they'll comment on you. Facebook, Google, Twitter, Instagram, because we are social beings. On the other side, there's always been a few kids or parents that had a bad experience. Maybe the instructor was a little bit harsh or not doing what they need to do. So I've been called in to help those situations too. Next, if you have an instructor over 20 plus years of experience, they're older. I'm old, but I'm still young. They give you a balance. They listen. It's like driving with your uncle. I'm your driver's ed uncle. I'm going to be relaxed, calm in a car, and comfortable. You need an instructor who's relaxed, who's going to give you education about the general driving habits. Okay, do they have this information available? Today, I'm going to be testing you on making right turns. I want to see you turn hand over hand into the turn and accelerate out. Today, we're going to work on parallel parking. We're going to work on pulling in between the lines. We're going to work on reversing hand over hand. Are they taking you through this process? At the end, does your instructor talk to your parent, or they just say bye and get out of the car, right? I learned early on, thank you, Frank. I learned early on, he always said, talk to the parents. Tell them how their son or daughter did. Parents love that. It's all about a relationship. Thank you. I may have to have surgery. I really appreciate it. And then I'll let you know what's going on. Thank you for the comments on the speedy recovery. Parents want to know, even if your son or daughter or teen did terrible, you always have to find something positive to say. Good instructors have a great sense of humor. They find the good in everything. Remember, we're driving adults or teens that have never been in a car. And in the summer, that's that grind. This summer, no matter where you live in the world, you're going to see driver's ed cars. You're going to see that sign on top. You're going to see kids getting in. And what I've learned, space my time out. When I first started, I was driving 12 hours, 14 hours. Had great checks, $1,500, $1,800, $1,900, $2,400. But I wasn't taking care of myself mentally and emotionally. You have to learn to work smart, not hard. And if you drive a student back to back, you're going to know their idiosyncrasies. They're going to get to know you. Hey, you look a little tired. Yeah, I drove to 12 o'clock midnight. I got home at 1. I had to put gas in the driver's ed car. I had to rotate some tires. And you start back at 7 in the morning or 6 in the morning. Within 12 days, you can easily run yourself down, get tired, get sick, show up late, snap on kids, make mistakes. That's when accidents happen. So I've learned to work smart. And if I have driving teachers watching, parents watching, it is about mental health. We are for each other. It's not the driver's ed instructor versus the parent versus we are for each other. And it's about positivity in the car. It's about good conversations. So if you can find an instructor 7, 9, 12, 20 years, you're going to get a treat because you're going to get that OG instructor, male or female. They're going to give you information. They're going to help you make good decisions. They're going to say at 3:30 you can go to Secretary of State. The line is not busy. Once you finish this last drive, let's drive over to the main office so I can drop off your paperwork and you can get your certificate in 10 days. Those are special things that instructors who have experience, who love teaching driver's ed, will give to you. They're experienced. They're not boring. You have videos, you have your lesson to do, you have a lesson plan to follow, but you're integrating social media, Kahoot, Instagram, TikTok, Google Classroom, right? You're putting cooperative groups together. That's that teaching aspect. And that makes a difference because you want to see your learners shine. You want to see them grow. And that's what makes a poor, middle, and average instructor. Are they putting those special touches in, right? In class, maybe they might bring a pizza in, bring some chips in, right? Those of you know me, yes, I've done that before because you're showing care. You're showing love. And when people see that, they're appreciative, okay? Also about car maintenance, you might want to show the students about the car, how to check the oil, power steering fluid, how do you change a tire? These things are important. I can't tell you how many times kids do not know how to put fuel in, they do not know how to check oil, they do not know basic routine maintenance. And some parents don't teach that. So let's review. Be passionate, find an instructor that fits you and your personality, and I want to say thank you. Bye.